Hey guys, it's Jared from Hello Hardware, and today we are reviewing Fantasy Life, the Nintendo 3DS game. It just recently came out in the United States. It's been out for a little while already in the United Kingdom, as well as Japan, but we finally got the US release of the game. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick review of the game itself. Figured it'd be time, be kind of fun to do, and really this will be my first review for the website. I don't do a lot of reviews, so when I do, it's generally on something I totally enjoy, especially when it comes to a game. So to begin with, Fantasy Life is a very fun game, has a good play style, and it's just an all-around fun game. So far I've dumped about 13 hours into this particular game, and I've only made it to Chapter 2. I don't know exactly how many chapters there are because I haven't read other reviews or I haven't checked out anybody's playthrough of this yet, but so far, 13 hours in, I've only made it to Chapter 2. It took quite a few hours to go through the prologue, but once I've done so, it just started getting a lot more fun, and a lot of the story started making a lot of sense. And you'll realize, too, if you do decide to play this, going through the prologue, you're going to not know where the story's going. And that could be a pro or a con. It just depends on how you like to play your game. For me, I spent the first couple hours working on one of my first classes, one of my first life choices, which was to be a blacksmith. And that took quite a few hours to really get into a full hang of, really get a full understanding. But that was the beginning of the game for me, and then after the story started happening, then I started getting more into the storyline of itself, not focusing as much on my life class, but having more fun with the game. So, you name your character at the beginning of the game, but he is really a nameless hero to begin with. He's got some sort of destiny, you're not sure what it is, but that's revealed later on. So, but that's general of most RPGs that I think I've played. The gameplay's fun. There's a lot of character development throughout the game. You meet many characters. You have a relationship with many characters. So it just develops a really good story path for the character to really focus on and to really go with. So, again, I'm now only into Chapter 2. I've just opened up another area. This has already taken 13 hours to do. There's already 3 other areas to open up, and I've only opened one so far. So my estimate of this gameplay would be close to about anywhere from 36 to 48 hours to play it all the way through. But I'm not sure yet. Again, I haven't read any sites. Just going off of what I know so far. But the game is really fun. The combat system is incredible. It is closer to an action RPG when it comes to the combat system, but there is a few tactics to it, such as you can time the attacks of your enemies and dodge their attacks. And that, it becomes kind of a game in itself, because half the time if you accidentally button press again, you put yourself in the way for attacks, and some of the attacks on the creatures can be very powerful. So just being able to figure out when to attack and when they attack is part of a game in itself. So if I had to compare this game to other games, I would say this game is really close to Rune Factory 4. It's got bits of Bravely Default in it. Probably got some really good bits of Code Princess in it. It gets pretty interesting, really. So that's how I'd probably rate the game when it comes to how does it play. So character development's cool, story's cool. Now the only problem with the story that I had was that it really took a couple hours for the story to even kick in. You have to get through that prologue before you really understand what's happening. Once you understand what's happening, though, anything that happened in the prologue starts to make sense. And that's very helpful for this game, because this game really needs just a little bit of a kick at first before you start getting into it, really. So as you can see, you can attack all kinds of different creatures. The creatures may drop items. Sometimes they drop experience boosts. They can drop Dosh, which is the money system in the game. All kinds of cool stuff. And one of my other favorite aspects of this game is the sound of the music. I mean, you can hear it when you're running through longer grass. It's really cool. So it's just really fun aspects to the audio of the game itself. I love that sound of unsheathing and sheathing. Really cool sound. So the game plays really well. It's got a very good combat system to it. Again, it's more action RPG based. So you kind of get a really good feel really quick of how the game's going to play. So all in all, I'd really rate this game a good solid 8 out of 10. Give it some time if you decide to play it, because again, it is going to take a little bit of time for it to really start kicking in. And once it does, you're just going to start enjoying it more. There are so many different classes, or what they say, life choices, that you can do throughout this game. For instance, I started with blacksmith, but I've already picked up miner and woodcutter. You can level all of these abilities up at the same time. You don't have to just focus on one. So you can kind of do all of them if you would like to. But for me, I just wanted to focus on these 3. I could always add mercenary, which would add more damage points because it'll increase my strength and I think vitality. And that would be good for that. Paladin, I think, does about the same thing. Hunter, you can start focusing on ranged weapons. And of course, what item you choose is going to determine what kind of weapon you can use as well. So there's all kinds of things you can do in this game, and you can focus on all of them at the same time, level it all together, and just kind of have some general fun with it. The stats system is about the same as you would expect from any RPG. You have anything from strength, vitality, intelligence, focus, dexterity, are kind of the normal ones. They added luck in here, that's for critical hits. I'm going to actually pick that up because I use a knife, so having critical hits is a good idea. But it's just a general system that you'd be already used to. There's a secondary system called Bliss. This is your happiness meter, essentially. And it's a secondary experience point system that you can then use to unlock different things. Like for me, having a bigger bag. You only start with 50 items that you can carry. Well, you can upgrade those to 50, to 100, to 200, to 300. There may even be another one behind this, I'm not sure yet. But you can level all these things up. Of course, your skill system, you can rank up a separate skill. So for me, being able to run faster or dodge an attack faster is your dash. Sneaking, I haven't really played with this yet. This is kind of the hard one for me. So I've never used that one yet. I should probably start leveling that up. Mining, of course, my wood cutting. And then you can go into your creation skills, which is if you're a smithy or a wood crafter or an alchemist or anything, you can go in here and you can see what your level of creating items is at, which actually helps you be more proficient at what you're doing, because the ability to do stuff in this game is a lot more different. It's not like your standard system where you have to hit one button and, oh, okay, it does all your creation for you. You actually have to do a succession of buttons. So if you're a blacksmithing and you need to build a hammer, you have to do things like you have to bang out the metal, then you have to heat up the furnace, then you have to go over and cool down the metal, but you have to do it within a certain period of time for it to make a quality item, or will it just be a standard item, or will you fail while you create it? So there's a lot of really interesting systems within the game itself. Really, it is about creating a new life and having fun with that life, and just learning what to do with a character alone is going to make this worth your time. So if you get a chance, pick up Fantasy Life. It really is a fun game. I really, really enjoyed it. Again, I give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't, and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye.